Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It is the United Stand, phone in, Skype, Goldbridge, whatever. I'm in the familiar Christmas surroundings, bit of decoration work, which means I can't be in the United Stand studio before Wednesday, which will be for the watch along. But hello and welcome. Lots to discuss. Europa League or Premier League top four. Schweinsteiger to leave in January. Lots of other things as well. And obviously Saint Etienne and hot off the press. I was just keeping my eye on it there. Under 18s. It's nearly approaching the end now. Heath Chong has just come on and made a great goal. 1-0 Manchester United against Southampton. So they look like they're going to win as well. You can get Skyping on Mark Goldbridge. That is on Skype, obviously. That's why we call it Skype Mark Goldbridge. But hope you're all having a good evening. Lots to discuss. It is your show. I don't want to dictate it too much. Get Skyping in. Let's see what you've got to say. And let's go live with Jordan Brown. Jordan, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, Jordan. Welcome again to the show. You first quick off the draw there. If it was a gunfight, I'd be dead. What have you got to say?
First of all, I'd like to say I thought we played really well yesterday with bringing in some good players. I felt like we didn't take many chances. I think Spurs were awful, but I was obviously over the moon yesterday because my stepdad supports him. I took the mick out of him all day. It's quite funny. But I think Europa League is looking likely. I think we could go very far in that, and we could go as far as we want to go. But I think Premier League, I think top four is going to be the biggest fight we're going to have in a long time.
Are you still there?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. I do agree. I mean, if I was giving it to you now, you can win the Europa League or you can get top four. I'm pretty sure we'd all go Europa League just because it's a trophy. But I just, you know, I've said it before, so it's not my show. But would you be, if I offered you top four or Europa League final, would you gamble on the final or would you take the top four? That's a brilliant question. You know what? I'm applauding myself for that. That is a super question. Why didn't I think of that before? Go on, you can answer it.
Europa League final.
You'd risk it on the final, yeah.
Definitely. Because if we were to get top four, all we gain from that is going to the Champions League. But if we win the Europa League, we get a trophy and we get to Champions League. Yeah,
I agree. But I tell you what, though, you know what? I like that. I like the fact that you gamble on the fact that if we could lose it and end up with nothing. But I'd understand taking the top four as well. You know, Champions League for us this year could mean Griezmann. And I think it will be a battle to get top four. But I don't know whether you watched the show last night. When you actually break it down between now and Christmas, yes, we've got to do something we haven't done really that much this season since probably the first three games, which is we've got to go and win every game between now and Christmas, which is 4 games. 2 at home, Middlesbrough, Sunderland. 2 away, Palace on Wednesday, Borough, Palace on Wednesday, West Brom on Saturday. We win those games, and I think with the games that Liverpool and City have got especially, I'd expect us to be within 5 points of them on New Year's Day, which is what I said we've got to be if we've got to have any aspiration of it. I mean, do you expect us to be within that? And then we've got Liverpool mid-January as well. So I tweet, you know, I'm tangenting a bit, but I want to ask you 2 things. One, do you think we will be within touching distance of the top 4, i.e. within 5 points on New Year's Day? And 2, I also said I think Manchester United will finish above Liverpool this season in the league.
I think we will finish above Liverpool. I think what will give us the edge at the moment is that Coutinho is injured, and obviously he's a big player for Liverpool, so that's what's letting them down. And I think by that we could do better. Our next 4 games, my only concern is Palace, because whenever we play against Palace, they're just our bogey team. They really are, like Everton are as well. I feel like we could drop a point there, but I feel like the other 3 games is a must-win. I don't see why we shouldn't be winning them games.
Yeah, I think Palace on Wednesday night. I'm really looking forward to that one because it's the first game I've really thought there's going to be goals in this, and we're surely going to win. You know, as long as we defend half decent, we should beat them. And there is exciting aspects to that, but I'll discuss that tomorrow night on the live for preview, but really excited about that. The West Brom game, I know looking ahead you shouldn't do that, and the Premier League can throw up anything, and it is an away game, but the West Brom game strikes me as difficult. You know, it was a great goal by Costa for Chelsea yesterday, and I thought West Brom were well organised, and that will be a difficult one. Sunderland and Borough should be 6 points, but, you know, no excuses there. So it is all to play for. Fantastic opening call, Jordan. Like I said, very, very quick off the mark there, and thanks for calling in.
Can I also just say one more thing?
Yeah.
I saw Mark in the comments just before saying about the Fellaini getting booed, and I just thought that was a bit wrong, because Fellaini's been with us for a while, and I don't think any player should get treated like that, being booed off, because I think, like, you play for Man United and we treat you, I think they get enough stick off the press and everything, so I think I'd just like to point that out, what Mark said earlier. Yeah,
very good point. I'll keep you on air just so I answer that, because I think it's unfair to answer it when you've gone. I don't agree with the booing. And I wouldn't boo myself, but there's plenty of other people to boo me. But I wouldn't boo him. However, I think 3 years of Fellaini is more than enough, and I think fans are just frustrated of it. And I think a lot of it's not really booing the individual. You shouldn't do it, but I think it's an expression of frustration, because he's taken up, you know, he's an oxygen thief in my mind. He's taken up Fosu Mensah's place is the biggest one. You could even argue Schweinsteiger. He's just never going to be a United player, and we've got better players, and I think people are frustrated. But I would agree, you shouldn't boo him. Thanks for calling, Jordan, and please do call in again.
Yeah, cool. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Cheers, pal. I am going to take another call. There are people calling in, but I just wanted to say I want to get involved in the live comments a bit as well. I know it's a Skype in show, but I know a lot of you don't or can't Skype in, so I wanted to say that. Man United, Salford Reds, winning the Europa League gets us into the Champions League anyway. It does. We can get both, says Russell Frost, talking about top 4 in the Europa League. It is on now. It depends what we do. Ronak says the same. Jesse Hitman says stop spamming. Easily top 4, says LaRusso. Castro sucks dick, says Troll. Top 4, says Paul Charuga. Daniel from Scotland says I would take top 4. Jake Bannon top 4. Iban X Skills Ben says Europa League. Husavar says Mark, any talk about the best player in the world? Also interesting. Brendan Bramger, best United channel out there, thank you. And Jesse Hitman has been on about Coco the cat. He will be back on Wednesday. I just want to say before I take another call, you lot are Ander Herrera to me. You are the heartbeat of this show, like he is the heartbeat of Manchester United's team. Fantastic. Really, really thanks everyone who's calling in and on the live comments. I don't have to prepare for this show other than think about a couple of things. And I really do look forward to this Monday night show. So drop the video a like if you want us to keep doing them, because you really are the stars of this show and you make it what it is. You're my Ander Herreras. You are the heartbeat of this show and channel, to be fair. But what a player Ander Herrera is. What a player he is. Absolutely superb. You know, yesterday, Carrick, I'm on a tangent again, but Carrick, no party, but I don't think Carrick had a great game yesterday in his ball distribution. His positional sense and the way he led the team, perfect. But Herrera had such a good game yesterday. I think if you took the biggest compliment I can take is you took Herrera out of that team yesterday, I don't think we win that game. And I don't know whether a lot of people saw it, but it was very Carrick-esque in the performance he did, because it was what he was doing away from the ball. It was the tackles, the simple passes. It was such a good performance. Let's speak to Hasafe. Javed, can you hear me?
Hey Mark.
Hi, I don't know whether I pronounced your name right. Is it Hasafe? Hasafa?
It's Hasafa, thank you.
Okay, speak up a little bit, mate. You're a little bit quiet. What was it you wanted to say?
I just wanted to say how we play. All these draws we've been getting, but now we've got a win against Tottenham. We just, once we're winning 1-0, what happens is Jose just brings on a defending player and just plays defensive after we are winning 1-0. And I just think we need to start going for another goal. And then, yeah, fair enough, we stay back, yeah, that's okay. But then it's just going defensive after winning 1-0. I don't think it's good by Mourinho.
No, I mean, I suppose, it's your show. We talk about what you want. I think, we do have. It was a difficult game yesterday because I think it was unlike Arsenal, which we never should have sat back against, and Everton we never should have sat back against. I think Spurs, whatever anybody says, apart from the fact they were playing with 10 men because Harry Kane was in Rojo and Jones's pocket and they just kept moving in between one pocket and another, they had no cutting edge up front. And when they took Eriksen off and they took Dembele off, I was just thought, what are they going to do? The only tall player they've got is Harry Kane, and I just couldn't see them scoring. But maybe we did step back a little bit. I would sort of agree with that. I presume you're in the camp of, when we get one goal, let's go and get the second goal rather than sitting back.
Yeah, definitely.
Very quickly, I will just chuck a question at you. I said it to Jordan at the start there. If you had the choice, if I was the football god, and I said to you, right, I can offer you up top 4 guaranteed, and you're in the Champions League, or you can gamble, you can stick or twist, you can gamble, and you can go for Europa League final. I'm not going to say you're going to win it. You've just got to take your chances in the Europa League final. What would you go for?
I'm not sure about that. I think I'd go for the first one.
Yeah, guaranteed. I can see that. Champions League football is very important. Where are you calling from, mate?
I'm actually calling from Halifax, West Yorkshire.
Halifax, first time on the show, I'm pretty sure, yeah?
Yeah, first time.
Brilliant.
I've been trying to get on for a number of shows.
I know a lot of people do, and I'm really trying. But the popularity of the show is down to you lot. But thanks for calling, and I'm glad you've got on. Speak to you again, mate.
Yeah, thanks for calling. Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Cheers, pal. It is difficult to get everybody on. Although at the moment you've got a good shout because there's only 2 people calling. Let's grab. I know Sander's been on before. Sander, how you doing, mate?
We're gonna win the league. We're gonna win the league.
It's not a Liverpool fan, is it?
I'm only joking. I'm getting too excited. But to be honest, I think we need to stop talking about the negatives. I need to start thinking of the positives. We've beaten Spurs. They are big game bottomers, but they are regarded as a decent side. They've got good players. I think we need to stop looking at the negatives. I do want to say, I've had loads of people, especially Marcus, in the comment section, saying,
Don't listen to him.
saying that it's wrong to boo him and all that. I do think we shouldn't have booed him. But I'm not holding back. I'm not saying it was a bad decision because we're not booing him as a man. We're not booing him necessarily him. We're booing the decision. And we've had 3 years now of rubbish Fellaini. We booed Van Gaal after 2 years of bad Van Gaal. So I don't think it was necessarily wrong to boo Fellaini.
I think there's, quickly on that. I said it last night. I just think there are some fans. You know what? I totally agree. You shouldn't boo him. I totally agree with that. But you know what? I know for a fact that every Man United fan was having a go at him last weekend and has been for a long time. And I applaud people for that. He's not good enough. But what really gets in my claw is all these do-gooders now saying, oh, we should back Fellaini as a United player just because that's what the manager said. And I just think, you know what? Have a bloody backbone. Stick with what you were saying last week and the week before that and the week before that. The fact for me is Fellaini is not a Manchester United player. He's not good enough. We all want him to be sold. We don't want him to get hurt, injured or anything like that. We don't wish him a bad Christmas or anything like that. We just want him to leave our club. And when he's gone and he comes back in a Sunderland shirt, we'll clap him and that's it. There's no malice. There's no horrible stuff about it. And that's ultimately what we want, I think.
It doesn't make you a horrible person. You don't have to, he's not going home crying. It's literally just you don't rate him as a footballer. And I've seen people saying, they've got enough from the press, so leave it, and they'll listen to the press. I don't agree with that. They do not listen to the press at all. They're professionals. Most of them probably don't even look at it. And if they do, they don't get affected by it because they're thick-skinned. They've got to where they are now, and they've got the press coming out the whole time. They do listen to us, however. Because, we are their fans. We've got them, to the moon and back. But when we do have something to say, they know it's real. And that's what I think they will listen to us over the press. That's what I think on the Fellaini subject. Going on to the Europa League, I think with regard to the draw, it doesn't really matter. You've got to beat, all these teams anyway. There's so many games to go until the final. You're going to come up against a good side. Obviously, you don't want to get knocked out earlier, but the end result is the same. If you get knocked out in the final and you get knocked out now, you still know Europa League football.
Let me just jump in there because I've just realised you've touched on a brilliant point. I've been saying to everybody, what would you prefer, this, that and the other. We've got Saint Etienne in the Europa League. We're playing on a Wednesday night on the second leg because Lyon are playing on the Thursday. It's very close. So we get Wednesday night. So it's almost like a fake Champions League game. So we won't play Thursday to Sunday, which is even better. But Saint Etienne, we should be beating them, even though the second leg is at their place. They're not a very, French league's not strong. below PSG, it gets worse. It gets even worse below Monaco and Lyon. So it's an easy, well, I wouldn't say easy, but we should win that game. And the great thing about it is Roma have got Villarreal, so that's one other good team gone. I think it's there to be won, Sander. I really do. I mean, but I don't think you can do Europa League and Premier League, and I will keep saying that. So I don't know what the priority is for you.
Well, I disagree with you, Mark. I think you can do both. We've got
be the first team to do it. You know, every British team has struggled in the league.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But if in my mind, if I was the manager and he won't do this, we've got so much depth in the squad. Yeah. I'd keep your Memphises, I'd keep your Schneiderlins, I'd keep all that. I'd keep your Rojo's, I'd keep your Jones. Play them in the Europa League. Then you got more chance of getting Champions League football because you go for the Europa League with essentially a whole different team. You can easily play the 11 that you wouldn't start on in the Premier League. You can easily play that, and it will probably smash any team in the Europa League anyway. So for me, I think you can do both. He won't do it because if he was going to go do both, he'd play essentially the same team, maybe with a few ins and outs, but he's want to keep that core team. So that's where your point comes into play in terms of you can't go for both. I think you can, but in Mourinho's mind, how he's going to do it, you can't. I agree with you on that point.
No, I said that the other night. Realistically, we've got such a big squad. We could have sort of one team for one and one team for the other. But thanks for calling in, Sander. Could speak to you all night. As we sometimes, I know you've been on the watch along. We'll get you on again, hopefully, maybe Wednesday night. But I've got to get through a few calls tonight. Very good points, flies by. Thanks for calling in, pal.
Nice one, Mark. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Sebastian, I want to touch on that. I'm really glad he brought that up because I really wanted to talk about it. It's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Saint Etienne, the Europa League, the draw, etc. So do bring that in. But I also want to talk about Schweinsteiger now as we take another call. Schweinsteiger not involved apart from a 3 or 4 minute cameo where he set up, was a big part of that goal, wasn't he? A couple of weeks ago against Feyenoord. So no, it wasn't Feyenoord. It was West Ham because he's cup tied for he's not been picked in the Europa League. Schweinsteiger going to leave in January. I think we knew it was going to happen anyway. He's got himself back fit. He played that little cameo, and I think Mourinho has decided, no, you're not having any more than that. I'm not going to end up with total egg on my face that you are really good enough to be playing in my side. I've ignored you, and I don't want the fans to build up. What do you think about that? What do you think about Schweinsteiger being let go? When for me, he's clearly fit. He's clearly as good as what we've got in the midfield, and he clearly should be part of our squad. But we're going to let him go in January. Is that the right or the wrong thing to do? Let's get Dean on. Hello, Dean. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, Mark?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. First, like to say, big fan of the show. Also, about the draw with Saint Etienne. First of all, it's just funny to me that the two Popper brothers get drawn in. They're gonna have a right laugh about that. Also, with Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger. First of all, I think we can offload Schneiderlin, maybe an unpopular opinion, but he's not being able to get into the team. Maybe that's due to a lack of triangle. Mourinho just not seeing the star power with him. But in my opinion, just offload and maybe bring in a different central midfielder. I'm not sure. Maybe try for Busquets. Maybe, who knows? Also, Fellaini. I know he's been beaten to death, but we need to band together and try and do something about him. Like Mourinho is, he's in love with him. Let's face it, he's in love with him. So what I think, we need to band together as United fans and just make our voices heard, because it may be Christmas, but Mourinho doesn't have to put up the tree so early. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, that's the flip side of the coin with fans booing yesterday. I mean, how else are you meant to express your opinion that you are frustrated with the manager using a player who you know from 3 years of watching him in a Manchester United shirt shouldn't be wearing a Manchester United shirt, and you also know that Fosu Mensah is exactly what Manchester United is. He's better than Fellaini. He could, and he's young, and he's the future, and I think that's what the booing was yesterday. Like I said, don't condone it, but going back to what you've just said there, how else can you express your frustration?
I completely agree. I mean, it was with Van Gaal. If it was down to Man United's board of directors, he would still be in charge to this day, I believe. And with Fellaini, you think he's going to be on 60k a week? I'm not going to earn that for at least 10 years, So, and you got Fosu Mensah. I don't know how much he's on, but he's got to be under by at least a few grand at least. It's just Mourinho's baffling me with his decisions recently, and what I feel is we need to start changing some stuff. You said give him at least a three transfer period, but what does he do in the transfer? Who do you think is going to bring in? Because I don't see much happening.
I've got no idea who we're going to sign in January. I really don't. I've not heard anything from people who were saying stuff in the summer. Maybe we will in the next few weeks, but I'm convinced we will sign somebody because I can't, like you just said there, and we've said he needs 3 transfer windows. Why would he waste one? So something will happen in January, and I'm excited about that. What I want to say positively about Mourinho is that, for the first time in 3 years, this time for the last 3 years, at this time of the year, we knew David De Gea was going to be our player of the year, even though we're halfway through the season. That's not happened this year, which shows you that we're not so reliant on a goalkeeper. So that's the positive. I look at the players on the pitch, whether they're players that we would pick, and it's getting more and more what I would pick now. The unity and happiness amongst them players. I mean, I'm sure Memphis and Schneiderlin are not happy, but the players he's picking in that, there's more unity than I've seen in 3 years. So there are positives. But the Fellaini is the big elephant in the room, or the big tree in the room behind me. It really is. And it's like, if he can just get rid of that player, he's a Jonah. I've said it so many times. He's a Jonah on Manchester United. He's like a bad luck. He's like a bad penny, and we need to get rid of him. I just want to ask you quickly. Schweinsteiger was talking about it before. Nishad Orpi says Schweinsteiger should still stay, and Arnold says Schweinsteiger is our number 1 defensive midfielder currently. It's a travesty he's not playing. Talking about the transfer window. Schweinsteiger's going to go in January. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't been playing recently because Mourinho thinks he's old. He's a veteran, but he's not in form as he was a few years ago with Bayern. What I'm thinking is, like you said a few streams back, that he gave him that game, just a good sense of like, okay, we'll play you now, but we're not going to need you next year. We're going to maybe bring in someone fresh, or may just keep Fellaini. What I'm thinking is, maybe this is what people think of Rooney, that we just give him a couple games, see how he does. If he's still up for the challenge, we'll keep him. But if he starts dropping off, or if he's not up to it anymore, maybe it's time to let him go. Yeah,
I'd agree. Where are you calling from, Dean?
Calling from Bournemouth.
First time on the show, yeah?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Thanks for calling in. Do try again, and please just keep getting involved in the channel, because without you lot, we're nothing.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, pal. Thank you. I'm just going to take some of the live comments before I take another one, so do feel free to call in. Jaden lives in Australia, well done. 100% Fosu Menza will become one of the best defensive midfielders in the world, says Rush Spirits. I totally agree, and I think he's ready now. Out of form Bastion, better than Fellaini on steroids, says Kwame. There was a comment up here. Oh yeah, no face, no case, says it all. Stop bullying Fellaini, you TWAT. I don't know whether you understand what bullying is. I'm not bullying him. I'm not picking on him. Not bullying him. None of us are. We're just telling the truth. Leave our club. You're not good enough. That's not bullying. That's factual. I know people don't like the bluntness of that, but it's what I think. I felt like it for 3 years. I took a lot of stick from this 3 years ago from a lot of people. I made my mind up very early. You know what? I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather be wrong on something like that, because if he'd done the business, then we'd be in a better situation. But no. He's got to go. I don't think he will go. I think he'll get a new contract. I just think he is going to haunt us for a lot longer yet. But other comments. Menza won't be given a chance under Mourinho, says Toby V. Very, very... You know what? Everything is looking good for Manchester United. And as I said when we got Mourinho, we will win the title in the next 2 years. So we'll probably win it next year, because it's probably going to be difficult this year. But don't for 1 minute think that the youth is going to get used, because... That's not what he does. I'd love him to prove me wrong, but he doesn't. And that's the downside. For me, personally, it's a very tough one, but I think we need to win the league. You get to 5 years, then it becomes 25 years, like Liverpool. We need to win a league. We need to get a league title under our belt, and I think that's the most important thing. How high can United get in the league, says Robin Harmigan? I don't know. Let's see what everybody else wants to say. Cole Ferguson, he's been calling in for quite a while. Cole, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mark.
Cool, I've got you loud and clear. What do you want to say, mate?
Well, calling from Perth, Australia, it's like very early in the morning here. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, dedication. What are you doing up at that time?
I'm on holidays at the moment, so
okay.
I've got... Yeah, so...
It must be quite hot there. It's I know it's nearly Christmas, but that's your hot season, isn't it, over there?
Yeah, I think we're nearing on 38 this week sometime, so yeah.
There we go, there's your weather update.
But watching some of the only the European games that we get over here. So we only get the Europa League whenever it's on. And just watching along with the watch-alongs and listening to what everyone's having to say, and seeing the Fellaini situation when I'm watching highlights or reviews of matches, I just think Mourinho needs to listen to the fans, or the board needs to just reach out to the fans, ask for their advice, and just do something about this Fellaini situation, because I can't see it getting any better. The fans, we're just going to get more frustrated as time goes on while he keeps using him. And I seriously think we need to get rid of him and maybe make a transfer in the summer or in January, like as soon as possible, to replace him with someone else, or get a new defender in to side with Eric Bailly at the back.
You wouldn't, you don't trust Phil Jones or Rojo then, even though, or even Smalling. You don't think they're quite good enough?
No, I think they're good enough. I'm just thinking, that maybe
better.
like, yeah, someone better, someone of like just another Bay quality player, like not going for a high class player like Boateng or anything, just someone a bit more upper class from Jones, Rojo, and Smalling.
I tell you what, I totally agree with you on that. I think it's a fantastic point, and I think a lot of people in the live comments will probably come back at you and say, no, Jones and Rojo or Smalling are good enough. I think you're spot on. I think when you watch Bailly play, I mean, Jones and Rojo, brilliant yesterday. I've given them so much criticism, and I came out yesterday and said they were great. And I think a lot of that's down to Mourinho, by the way. Do you realise this is Phil Jones' first time he's played 6 games in a row for Manchester United, and we signed him over 5 years ago? I mean, that's bloody ridiculous. Healing hands of Mourinho. But I agree with what you're saying, Cole. Yes, Bailly's on a different level to those players who were good, but I agree. If you want to win a title, you need another centre back of Bailly's quality, and then you've got backup Jones and Rojo or Smalling. I think that would be really a good idea. Just very quickly, so just obviously you're a United fan, so you don't get to watch the games over there. I thought you did. Is it not on your telly?
Well, we did last season because the Premier League's had Foxtel for something like a long time now, and a lot of households in Australia have Foxtel, and this year Optus have bought the rights for Optus Sport, which means that most houses would need to actually switch their phone connections over to Optus and then get an Optus box to watch any Premier League at all. We get MUTV on Foxtel now, but that is literally in the ads leading up to the season. They made it out to be that we'd actually be able to watch the games, only United games, but it's radio commentary. And the only chance you get to see the pictures is when they're doing a halftime thing. So I find more enjoyment of getting involved in these watch-alongs, which I found only 2 weeks ago, and I found that so much more. And I'm a big fan of the show, and I've been waiting to get on for a little while now.
Well, I'm glad to get you on, Cole. I think anybody who's watching should be very pleased that Cole found the watch-alongs, because the watch-along genuinely wasn't our idea. We were asked, can we, when there's a United game on and we're watching it, can you just go live and interact? And it works brilliant. I really enjoy it. Obviously, we can't show the game because of copyright reasons, but a lot of people seem to enjoy it, and it's great, really encouraging that people like yourself watch it and enjoy it over commentary, which, to be honest, I don't blame you. I find commentary makes me feel sick. I think it's so scripted. But a fantastic call and a really, really good comment about the centre-backs. Really appreciated that. I don't know whether you're going back to bed, Cole, or not, or were you staying with us watching it, but thanks for calling in, and please do again. Really good and nice to get you on from the other side of the world.
Let's go to the Europa League final and gamble on winning it, because that'll put us in Champions League, which will draw attention from bigger players and hopefully get us some big signings in the summer.
Cool. All right. Thanks, mate.
No worries. See ya.
Cheers. Again, we've been blessed tonight. Some really good calls. Please do drop a like on the video. Really important that you do that, because you're just liking yourselves, and everybody, we all should do that. I'm just having. There's a lot of people calling in now, as is normal, and it's difficult for me actually, but I'm just trying to grab somebody who may not have called in before. So it's hard. I think I've had them before. Let's try this person. I don't know whether we have or not. Can you hear me, Kamski?
Yes.
You're live on the United Stand. You're live on the United Stand. Have you been on before?
No, never.
Brilliant. Okay, I did pick someone new then. What was it you wanted to say, pal?
Well, I wanted to say that I can give a perspective from the Mourinho fan. Well, I'm not. I am a Manchester United fan now, but I'm a Mourinho fan from Real times, from Real Madrid times, and I
Are you a
have
Real
kind
Madrid
of
fan then as well?
No.
No, just Mourinho.
When he leaves the team, I stop being the fan of that team. You know.
Oh right,
but
brilliant, yeah.
I don't know what will happen with Manchester United, because here it's different, really different, because I can give you a perspective from that years, from Madrid, from Chelsea, and I can say that Manchester United fans is something different than those previous two, because it seems like you have a, I don't know, experience or something like that in the fan base. It's different. The fan base is different, but
it's like a quality and class, isn't it, that you don't get with any club?
Yes, exactly that. And I'm not saying that. Right. I'm not saying that because just because he's here now and all that. It's not that. And but what I wanted to say is that about this Fellaini situation, I wanted to say that maybe Mourinho did say that he will support Fellaini and he will make the fan base love it. And after that words, he can't track back. He can't go back.
I agree. Yeah.
And he's in the situation that he may lose respect of the team and all that. So with his loud big words after the match that he said about Fellaini and all the respect he gave to him, he is not really having a plan to use him. He just said it to make a point, but he also hears your opinion, Manchester United opinion, our opinion, and he will use him way less. And as you saw, he didn't use him as a substitution. It was just a last substitution, 30-second substitution.
Yeah.
But he used Bailey. So he hears you. He hears the fan base. You have to know Mourinho, and when he says something, it's not really his intention maybe to use him more and more. No, he just made that gesture, and I think he will use him less and less now. He will be just a substitute player, maybe for some occasions, but he will use him less and less. I think so.
Well, I hope you're right. I really do. I think just going back to just summarising some of the stuff he said there. When he said I'll make Manchester United fans love Fellaini, we'd had a really good start to the season. We won our first 3 games, and I think a lot of fans sort of were like, yeah, let's give him another chance. And I just stood by what I know about Fellaini. I said, brilliant that we're winning, superb that we're winning, but he shouldn't have said that, and it makes me feel sick. And everyone was like, oh, give him a chance. Lo and behold, it doesn't work out. But I do agree with you. It sort of backed himself into a corner there, I've always said about Mourinho, he's a very clever man. I wanted him at the club, and I think he will win us the title in the next 2 years. But he's not a stupid man, and if he's not sat there at home watching the United stand, he's an idiot. No, I'm only joking. If he's not sat there at home thinking, I'm on a win-win here. If I get rid of Fellaini in January, the vast majority of United fans are going to love me. So, in a way, I do respect what he's doing, because it's a really easy win situation for him to just get rid of him. But we'll see what happens, and I really do hope that you're right.
But
just
maybe
very quickly, can I just ask you? You've only got about 30 seconds. Well, yeah, 30 seconds left. He's not really used the youth much. Do you think he will use the youth at Manchester United?
I think he's using youth. If you see Rashford, if you see Martial, if you see Fosu Mensah, he's using him not often, but he's still using him. I think he's using youth. It's not like we have the old timers in the team and the all experienced team. It's a kind of young team we have now, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I've got to get you off so I can get some more people on. But thanks for calling. Where are you calling from?
From Russia.
Russia. I think you're our first Russian caller. Please do call in again. Really good points, especially with the Mourinho angle. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
I tell you what, I love these shows. I really do. I think it's great. You can just get all sorts on. And you know what? Some people might say, "Oh, that's a bit odd." Stopping the club that you support just because Mourinho moves on. But I've heard of that before. There are people out there who follow Roy Hodgson and don't know. I'm joking. But, Mourinho is an entity in himself. He is a brand and people really buy into it. So, there we go. Let's have a look at some of your live comments before we take another call. What do you think on the Griezmann speculation, says Jack Dyer? I think it's going to happen. I really do. I was told last week it's going to happen by very good sources that we have. I just personally, as much as those people are saying it's going to happen, I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen because I just think it's dependent on the Champions League. But I have been told it's going to happen. Jesse Hitman, we won't win the title. Jose's patient, a very observant man, says Jason Braithwaite. He will start using the youth when he gets control of his first team, says Onion Meister. Very good point. And I think he is getting closer now. I look at that team from yesterday, and yeah, you should have a bit of interchange and every now and again, maybe Mata coming in, Rooney, but we're forming a team now. I think left back and the two centre backs. Nothing against the lads who are playing at the moment, but step up. Ideally, Luke Shaw comes in and starts playing the way we want him to. Bailly comes in, and we either get Smalling back in his prime, or we go and buy a centre-back. And then suddenly you've got a fantastic team. Like the video, says GGMU United. Yeah, please do. It's your show. What's the Skype name, says Dimitri Payet. It is Mark Goldbridge. Kwame says, Mark, it might not be such a win-win situation for him as you think. He's probably worried that kicking Fellaini, based on media fan opinion, might shake the squad's faith in him. There was a comment before, I just want to pick up on this before I take another call. There was a comment before about Fellaini and how somebody respected him. I wish, well, maybe you don't wish I said it, but they said, I really respect Mourinho because although Fellaini's not very good, I love the way he's defended him publicly and hasn't outed him. I'm going to throw a spanner in the works slightly. Look at what he did to Luke Shaw. Look at what he's done to Chris Smalling. He's publicly had a go at those players who, and I don't think they've done anywhere near as bad as what Fellaini did, especially in relation to Everton. So, but as he came out with a very interesting comment today, and that was, I like Fellaini as a person. I trust him. And to me, the person is far more important than the player. Read between the lines there, obviously likes Fellaini, maybe doesn't like some of these players that he's come out and had a go at. It's interesting, always interesting. And I liked that comment as well about, he said, I followed Mourinho at Chelsea, I followed Mourinho at Madrid, and following at Manchester United, the support is very different. And I've had the words, yes, we've got class, depth and quality. But I think we have, even when things are going well, we're not moaning, we're just so passionate and interested and educated in our club that we can spend an hour on a Monday night just interacting with each other and talking about things. Even though we've had a great result yesterday, even though we're very optimistic, even though I think we're going in the right direction, we're still digesting other stuff. And I think you probably don't get that with many other clubs. There is a definite depth of quality with you lot. And like I said, you're my under Herreras. You are the heartbeat of the show. Okay, let's take another call. I'm going to grab, hopefully, Rodney, because I think he has been on before. And I just want to grab what his opinion is. Can you hear me?
Hello, Mark.
How you doing, pal?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. What was it you wanted to say?
Right, first thing, I like trees.
They help you breathe.
But, yeah, I know. But I wouldn't like to call Fellaini a tree. I'd like to call him an ugly lamppost because trees are important, and I think we do ourselves a disservice with the tree thing. So let's call him an ugly lamppost because he's all arms and elbows.
Can you just talk up slightly, Rodney? I can hear you, but it might be difficult for people at home.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
can you hear me?
That's perfect now. Much better.
All right, sorry, mate.
Yeah, go on.
What I saw on the thing is you asked the question about whether we could go for both the Europa and the Premiership, and I think we can. I think we've got the squad to do so, and I think we're a big enough club to actually be ambitious and go for everything that we possibly can. We've had a not the best start, but I think we've got the quality. Once Mourinho gets a settled team that can push on, and I think from the performance that we've seen in the last 2 games, we can do that. It'll be steady and slow, but that's what I think anyway in terms of trying to win both trophies or as many trophies as we possibly can this season. It's important.
I agree. I mean, I really, you know what? I really do think that come February when the Europa League kicks in, and actually that first game, you know, you could almost say March, because that if we win that game, which we should do over 2 games, and it's not massively, I don't know whether you heard me saying that the second leg is on a Wednesday as well, so it's not like we'll have to play Thursday, Sunday. That will get us into March. That's more league games that will have gone past by then. And then I think it goes down to 32 now, so it goes to 16. So there'll be one more round before you get into the quarterfinal. So basically, 4 rounds. I think we are going to go into that situation. I'll be very surprised if we don't, because I agree with you. I think we are going to get better and better, and we will click at some point. Maybe we already have in some ways, but there will be some more dips. But I think we will go back into the Europa League in a position where we will have a choice to make. And I'm only doing it based on what I've seen everybody else do. I really have concerns that you can go for both, but maybe I'm not right. Maybe I'm not right on that.
Well, I think by the time we get to that point, I think the gap that we have right now will have been diminished. I think this league is already proving that you can't rest on your laurels, regardless of who the manager is. City have found that out. Chelsea will find that out. Liverpool have found that out, and I think we were very unlucky in terms of the results that we've had in terms of draws. I think by the time we get to the end of February, everyone knows that United is a team that kicks on from January. So they'll be looking over their shoulder thinking, we haven't got enough space between us and them. So I'm confident by March, we can be in a position that we can look at both competitions and say, right, we've got the players. We can look at both and move on at a steady pace and actually get silverware in either one of them. But I wouldn't want to say, let's not look at the Premiership just for the Europa and we don't make it, or let's look at the Europa and not the Premiership and we don't. I think we need to go for everything and say, right, that's what we're doing, and we're going to do our level best to get something out of both of them instead of just pinning our hopes on one.
We must not forget as well is that, I think we've got to win the next 4 games, and I think Palace and West Brom are the big ones, because I can't see us not beating Sunderland and Borough. And then I think because of all the other fixtures everyone else has got, I'll be amazed if we're not within 5 points of top 4. Then we've got Liverpool mid-January, which we've got to win that. And then I think I really do think we'll finish above them. But what I want to say as well is, what about the FA Cup and the League Cup? Because we're right in the back end of the League Cup as well. We should be getting to the final of that, which again will be in February, and then FA Cup kicks in. I'd quite like to win the FA Cup again, because I loved winning it last year, but I didn't totally enjoy it because a lot of my time was thinking, if we win this, do we keep Van Gaal? Because I don't want to win it if we're going to keep Van Gaal. So I'd like to win it again and properly enjoy it. But that kicks in as well. So that it's not a quadruple we want, because we're probably not going to win. Well, we can't win the Champions League, and we're probably not going to win the league. But you know what I mean. Top 4's a prize to go for because of where we are at the moment. Europa League's a prize to go for. League Cup's a prize. FA Cup's a prize. I mean, can we do all of those?
I'm going to be bold and say yes. I think if we get a trophy in February, it will be the momentum we need to carry on for the rest of the season. Anyone who's played football or any sport, once you win, you like the feeling. And I think it will carry on. I think we need to get our hands on a trophy under Mourinho, and he will instill in the players, this is what's expected of you at this club under my reign. And if you do what I tell you to do, we can go on and pick up as much silverware as you want, as long as you do as I say. And I think that's the most important thing. I'm confident, regardless of the draws that we've had, and they have at the time felt bad to handle. For days I've been thinking I can't talk to anyone because of getting a draw with Everton and looking at Fellaini and like everyone else using abusive language at the television. I have to kind of think positively and think, right, we have now closed the gap on Spurs. Between now and at the end of February, we can chip away at what that gap is in terms of those in front of us, and I'm confident that we will do that. And I know I didn't feel like this about maybe 2 weeks ago, but after the last 2 games, I'm thinking, yeah, the old United, where there's a bit of flair, there's a bit of movement, and a bit of passion between the players on the pitch. For me, I'm happy.
Great. Thanks for calling in, Rodney. Good call
Cheers,
again.
Tom. Cheers.
I've had Rodney on before. He's always a very good call, but I do want to just grab one more very quick. And this lad has been trying a long time, so I'm just going to hopefully get him on. I think he's killed it. Oh no, he's not. He's there. Connor, you still there?
Yeah, all right, mate.
Yeah, you're right. I've seen you've been trying to get on for a while, so I thought I'd just grab you, give you at least 3 minutes. What was it you wanted to say?
Well, I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan, Mark. I do see the show often.
Cool, brilliant. That's always good to get. And I don't know how you're doing. Well, I always like Sheffield Wednesday, and I think just very quickly before you fly in, there's a number of teams that I would love to see back in the Premier League. I've got nothing against the teams like Burnley and Hull and that, but they're not very big clubs. I would love to see Leeds, as much as there is that rivalry. I'd love to see Leeds back. Obviously Villa, Sheffield Wednesday, Forest, and obviously Newcastle as well. I think it just the support and history those clubs have got. I'd love to see them back in. But what would you like to say?
Well, I really want to say about the booing against Fellaini, and I just don't approve of that at all in any footballer at this era.
Yeah, I mean, Real Madrid do it, and we've given them a lot of stick for doing it, and I agree with you. I wouldn't do it myself, but as I said, it's a fan channel, and it was fans who were booing him, so you've got to find the angle if you're going to do a fan channel.
Yeah, but I've seen live comments as well saying line him up and shoot him and things like that. It's just not needed.
No, it isn't. You're right. It's not a personal thing. I think I said it a few minutes ago. It's not a personal thing. What it is he's been here for 3 years. He's not a Manchester United player. He's not good enough. And I think we would all be absolutely ecstatic. We'd pay for his taxi fare and we'd drive him to wherever he's going, Sunderland or West Ham, and we'd say good luck. And that's it. It isn't a personal thing. It really is frustration that he's been here for so long, frustration that he's taken up people's places who are better than him, and frustration that, you know what, all the fans can see it. He's just not good enough. And I think it is frustration. And, somebody said it before, there's such strong feeling about it. What can we do as fans to force him out of the club? Well, the answer is nothing. We do the fan channel because we believe fans are the most important thing in football. Unfortunately, the media and players and managers don't. So they've lost sight of that. So they're not going to listen to us. So maybe that frustration...
Well, fans of all clubs aren't valued, are they?
No.
Fans they'd rather fans didn't exist.
Well, Jamie Carragher said it last week. He picked up an award and he said... it's really important to get this fans award because fans play an important role in football. And I thought, you know what? My first reaction was, "Oh, that's a nice comment." But then actually, I thought it was deluded because I thought we don't play an important role in football at all. We are football because if you withdraw fans, there is no money, there is no sponsors.
Exactly that, Mark.
They're just playing. They're playing Sunday morning football for the love of it. And I'd quite like to see that sometimes because I think the football I grew up watching in the 80s, where there wasn't loads of money in the game, players were more passionate. I mean, the football's better now, but football is about the fans, and that's why we do it. And it's great that so many people get involved. But I think maybe maybe these fans were just frustrated, and that's the only way they know how to express it because they don't get listened to any other way. I mean, some people would say fans shouldn't be listened to, but
I think Mourinho's so stubborn. He will get a new deal.
Yeah, but Fellaini.
Yeah.
I'm convinced by it, and unfortunately I tend to be right about quite a lot of things, and I am convinced he will be signing a new contract.
We have a number of players at Wednesday that just need to leave, We've got so many players that never play. We've got a big squad.
Hard to get rid of players at that level, though, isn't it? I mean, I'm
very, yeah, and
they're
all on big deals.
Villa have got the same problem. I actually sit with a couple of Villa fans, and they, especially when you've come down, but it's the same. A lot of Championship clubs spend a lot of money, and it's all right. United are blessed in a way because we'll probably lose money on the players that have flopped, but there's teams out there that are going to want Memphis, they're going to want Schneidlin, they're going to want Fellaini, but at that level, it's difficult.
No one wants our players.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, where are you in the league at the moment? Because
we're 7th, 1 point off playoffs.
Nearly got up last year, didn't you? You got to the final.
Yeah, playoff final.
Was that Hull? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I would love you to get back up. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, I'm old enough to remember the days of Chris Waddle and that team you had, and Paul Warhurst, who went from centre-back to play up front and whacked them all in. And, I'm very, I do like Sheffield Wednesday, and I'd love you to get back up, because I think, like I say, it's a big club with a big support, and I think we've got too many clubs in there. It sort of loses its romance, I think, that you got Bournemouth, Burnley, Hull, these teams that, it's nice for them, but they're small. They're small clubs. Premier League should have all the big clubs in it, and by big clubs I mean the big clubs. They've got the big grounds, the big support, and the harder games, the better, I think. But there you go.
Yeah, well, listen, Mark, best of luck for the season, mate.
Cheers, and to you, and please do call in again. Very good points.
Yeah, will do. Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, Connor. Thank you.
Bye.
I think we've been really lucky tonight. We've had some fantastic calls. Nice to tap it off with something totally different. I love football. I think most of us obviously do, and I'm more than happy. If somebody from another club wants to come on and talk United, but feed in a little bit about theirs as well. I think we've been really lucky tonight. As I said, third time. You are the Ander Herrera of the United stand. You are the heartbeat of it, and I love this show because there is no script. It's just a chat, and you come on and you have your say. What I want to say as well is a few people have commented, why do we only hear the voices? I mean, sometimes people don't offer up video. However, I've had a few computer problems over the last 3 weeks, and if I put the picture up, it just kills the stream because it takes up all my computer usage. However, that will be resolved by next Monday. So if you want to come on visually, you know what? I think it's a good idea because I think you all speak really well, and if we see you visually, we might go, he's good. Let's get him on the United stand. But that explains that. Superb. Really enjoyed it. I'm just going to take some live comments just before I wrap up. Good call from Connor, says Marcus. Yes, nice one, Connor, says live forever. It's Monday, not Wednesday, says Top Tenors. Nice guy, says LaRusso. You know what? I think it is important. I do give a lot on Twitter to other clubs and fans, but no, we've had a Liverpool fan on here. Everybody's welcome, and you will always get respect. So and that's whether you're a United fan or a fan of another club, you will always get the opportunity, and you will always get respected. So don't feel that you can't call in just because we're a United fan channel. And I think the big thing about the United stand is it's very banterish anyway. I know some things can come across wrong, but there is really no malice or hate. I mean, God, if there was, Fellaini'd be in trouble. But enjoyed that call, says Nicholas Anderson. I did as well. Irish Red Devil's been trying to call in. Let's try and get it to 300 likes, everybody, says Wasted. Yep, do drop a like on it. You're liking it for yourself. When are you doing FIFA again, says Ricky Clarkson. I break up from work on Thursday, and I've got nearly 2 weeks off, so I will be back doing FIFA. It's been nearly a month now. Just need to get back into it, and I will let you know when I'm going to do it. Matty Ray has liked and subbed. Brilliant. You know what? We just do this on a Monday night, and it's not. I don't know how we get new viewers. It's always word of mouth. Subs gradually go up, views gradually go up. But if you are new, brilliant, Matty Ray. That's brilliant. And all I'd say about the United stand is, tell your friends whether they're United fans or not, and let's grow it, because we don't listen to anybody else. We don't get driven by anybody else other than you. No media outlet, no big corporation. They'll never tell us what to do, and it will always be raw and like this. And it's fantastic because this is what football should be all about. We'll be live tomorrow night with a preview for the Crystal Palace game. Most importantly, on Wednesday night, we'll be live at 7 o'clock with the team news, right the way through that watch-along thing the Perth guy was on about Cole, with all you lot hopefully joining in. Tomorrow night, I'm hoping it'll be at 8:30, but I'm being taken out for a meal by my father, because he's coming down to the Midlands to take me out with the family for a Christmas meal, and we're doing that. I don't know why I'm telling you all my life. I may as well put you the diary up, hadn't I? But that's at 6:15, so I'm hoping I'll be back for 8:30, but I may have a couple of drinks with him and a nice meal. So I'm probably going to schedule it for 9 o'clock on the safe side. It may be 9 o'clock. It could be 8:30, but let's go with 9 o'clock. But thanks everyone for watching. You're absolutely brilliant. I will dab HSC MUFC if we ever sell Fellaini, and not before. But it's Arsenal versus Everton tomorrow, says Salim Hussein. Well, if you want to watch that and not watch the preview, that's fine. But damn the football man, you blocked me on Twitter for banter from an opposition fan. Hypocrite. I probably blocked you because it gets boring on the timeline, mate, to be honest. I should have muted you, but you know what? We don't normally block people, so I can't. Email my secretary and we'll discuss it. Top tenors, that's a funny comment. I'm not getting involved in any of that. But all I would say is Skype's open if anyone's got an issue. You'll get your voice. Thanks for watching. That is a horrific comment from this charming man. And it will probably go up on the screen. No need for it. No need for it. And Chloe Pierce, her cousin played with Chris Smalling at Maidstone United. That's a nice way to end up on it. Thanks everyone for watching. You're brilliant. And we will speak to you tomorrow night or on the watch along on Wednesday night. But keep getting involved. Thanks for watching. Brilliant show. I applaud you. It's your show, this one. And it was absolutely